Podcast. We are continuing to talk about the sellout games at the Gardens. So the last episode we did MSG, because obviously that game is happening first. And now we're going to talk about TD Garden. So I'm just going to load up the details. So, Boston's expecting its biggest crowd ever. Yes! Yes, which is exciting for a market that's only able to really fit about 6,000, 7,000 people. Roughly 6,000 in Songa Centre, 7,000 in Agadis. Yeah. Do you think they're going to move to Agadis permanently? I don't know. Because I can't see how you can keep up the two primary venues. I mean, I know the Big 12 in the first season, but after that, depends. I mean, there's nothing wrong against Songa Centre, but I think if you want to get more people in, you move to Agadis. But not my call. Nah, not my call. I mean, they only played what was about 4 games at Gallus this season. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, right. So Michael Fleet side, and I'm just gonna get the TD Garden capacity because we've learned that actually TD Garden hasn't got as big a capacity as we thought they were going to be. I thought they were the reasons of MSG, but apparently not. Yeah, so we're just going to load that up. Give me 2 seconds, and then away we can go. Okay, 2 seconds. Right, good. Ready to go. Ready to go. So let's do it. Boston Fleet sell out April 11 game at TD Garden. Have you two told Goof about this bigger sellout? Not yet. We can do it. We'll do it over the weekend while you're watching Medifest Barnum. Okay. Right. Because obviously Goofy's joined us for that game. So have you? So no. Okay, fine. I mean, I already got announced yesterday they're both sold out. Yes, they were recording on the 6th of March. Yeah. I'll tell you over the weekend. Okay. Okay, right. So, the Boston Fleet announced that the team has sold out the first ever professional women's hockey league game at TD Garden, set for April 11 against the Montreal Victoire at 7 PM Eastern. We also have a game that night. We're going to be hosting the York Sirens earlier in the day, and that's our Pride night. Really, for obvious reasons, really looking forward to that one. Yeah. Because as in April when they do Pride Month for the PH up. Yes, it was April last year. Yeah. Get to have Pride Month twice a year. Isn't it lovely? Well, really, every month should be Pride Month, but to get it done twice is quite brilliant. And then obviously you then have to then celebrate it again end of August, because that's normally when Manchester has its Pride. Yes. Anyway. So selling out TD Garden is a powerful moment for our team and for women's hockey, and it says everything you need to know about the passion this city has for the Fleet, said Fleet General Manager Danielle Marmer. Boston is the ultimate sports city, and seeing this kind of support shows that women's professional sports belong on the biggest stages. Our players and our fans have earned this together, and we can't wait to experience a packed TD Garden on April 11. So, capacity of more than 17,800, the Fleet's game at TD Garden would surpass the PHL's current US attendance record, and is expected to rank second all-time on the list after MSG, which of course will happen the week before. PHL ticket demand continues to climb, with league attendance up more than 17% season over season through the first half of the 26 campaign. So, what do I make of it? I mean, this was I remember when this was announced, I think we were all sort of taken aback a bit, because again, as Reese Price-Griffey mentioned, you know, he said that Tea Garden is a very hard place to get a Ben's ball. Yes, because when this game was announced, Reese Price-Griffey, our Boston Bruins supporter, were the 3 members of the East crew of our hockey pack. Yeah. He came on and joined us for this. That's where we all learned about the Fleet Centre nickname that because obviously it used to be called Fleet Centre, and so forth. Yeah. So he did join us on episode, and he did mention how Petit Garden, it's very, very hard to try and book out events like that. So he was kind of saying that we're very lucky to get this event into Tea Garden, given how tightly packed it is. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I think it's incredible. Yeah, and the sellout is brilliant. So obviously, we've seen how, you know, there's been high demand for for tickets in Boston. You know, I mean, they've had an incredible, you know, the way they managed to pack out both Soccer Centre 99 is brilliant, because obviously, you know, Soccer Centre only holds about 6,000 people, and yet the way they get near sellouts every single time is brilliant. I mean, do you remember last season when obviously they had a snow blizzard and it's still packed out? Yeah, because it was our game. It was our game. It was just before Boston was going to host the remainder of the 4 nations, and we were playing in Soccer Centre, and there was a massive snow blizzard. Yet the fans still came out. Brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's been incredible how Boston's taken the lead to heart, because, you know, the way they managed to start that bar 99 out is absolutely brilliant. Despite a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, it's very hard to get to Soccer Centre." Well, and you keep using Soccer Centre as the reason why you can counter on everyone saying, "Oh, I don't think I will charge to go to CTC. I'm about to get there." Nah. Yeah. There you go. No, but it's incredible. And let's face it, are we surprised this game sold out? No. I mean, look at the season Boston's having. Yeah. Boston is pretty much the red hot favourites to win the World Cup. Yeah, they are contenders. They are definitely contenders. I mean, I think I did say before Milan, I said, if you to ask me which American team could dethrone us, I said Boston. If you ask me what Canadian team, I said Ottawa. And you still stand by that prediction, do you, George? Yeah, I do. We all know what happens when it gets to playoffs. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially in this league. So Boston, I mean, yeah, incredible. So yeah, and also, hello, guess who they're playing? Montreal. Oh, you know where I'm going with this, aren't you? Well, bet. Oh! Garantino T! Yeah, I think we should maybe just warn good, because he is going to draw us for this game. We should warn him now. Chances are, there's a 99% probability this is going to go to overtime. Did any of the Fleet and Victoire games last season not go to overtime? Because the one at Bell Centre definitely did. So it's like, I'm trying to remember, did any of the games last between the Fleet and the Victoire not go beyond regulation? Those 2 teams love playing in overtime, what can we say? Yeah. Those 2 teams love playing in overtime. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Which is crazy. Free for the game, but not if you're a Fleet or Victoire fan, you desperately want to get those points. And also, this could be a top of the table clash, because obviously the Victoire, since coming out of the Olympic break, have basically played how you wanted to play, George. Yeah. The Victoire found their groove. They've got an impressive winning streak. I think they're up to maybe 7 games now. They currently, at time recording this episode, the Fleet and Victoire are tied on points, but Boston is still on rank number 1 on tiebreakers. So this could be a top of the league clash, and given how by that point there'll be only about roughly 2 weeks left of the regular season, that could be a really key game that might decide who could potentially be on course to be crowned the league champions come April 25. Which goes to the last day of the regular season. Of course, all 8 teams are going to be playing on that game. It's a Super Saturday! Super Sandy like you've never seen before. Bloodbath. Oh yeah, blood. That is going to be a bloodbath. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But can't wait for it because it's going to be so thrilling just to see it all unfold. Yeah, so thrilling to unfold. Yeah. Because obviously Boston Montreal has been one of the most biggest rivalries in hockey over the years. Okay. So, I mean, the last few years it hasn't really been like that because Montreal has been a little bit of a downward spiral in the NHL. But over the years, Boston Montreal in hockey has been a really big rivalry, and with the PHL putting teams in Boston and Montreal back in 2023 as part of the inaugural 6, you just knew that there was going to be a new take of that iconic rivalry. So, if you're going to put a PHL game in one of the iconic arenas in all of America, besides MSG, don't you want it to be an iconic rivalry? You kind of had to put Montreal against Boston in that. There was no choice. It's obvious who's going to be that opponent. And I think if Boston markets it right, then you could potentially maximise opportunity. Because we've got to mention on the MSG episode that both these two games in Madison Square Garden and TD Garden, they're both happening on the same day as an NHL game. The NHL game happens early in the day, and then we take over afterwards. So it'll be interesting to see how many people who will go to the Boston Bruins game will then hang around and then go straight to the PHL afterwards. That will be really interesting to see if he do that. So Good's going to be keeping on his game against Tampa. We, of course, will have our against the Cyrus. Then once we finish our against the Cyrus, he'll then join us and then watch it. Yes, I am gonna when we next see him, I am gonna ask him if he wants to come on the podcast after the next recording date after that game. So that will be the 13th of April. I'm gonna ask if he wants to come and do an episode where I basically ask him what it was like watching the PHL in his barn. So as I said, our East crew, they support us, but they don't. But they have not stuck their mass to a team. They all three at the time, when the league was launched, they said to me, "We're probably not going to join you, but we will support you in whatever way we can." And they have done. Oh, they've been brilliant, the East crew. They really have. Particularly Hatter during the Olympics, but that was mainly because he was not happy with the OT rules and the men's hockey. And sadly, they did also transpire to us as well. So it was a shared frustration. It was a shared frustration, but he did pay interest. Obviously, George, you and him also had the men's Canadian team to follow. And he also did share interest about what was going on for us with TUSA and the women's side. So I will ask him when we next see. I'll ask him if he wants to do that. If so, great. If not, I'll just do a recap of the event, which I'm also going to do for MSG, and I'm also going to do one for the CTC game in Ottawa as well. I didn't do it last year, probably should have done, but I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to do it this year, and we'll reference back to last year's CTC game. So it kind of made sense that this was going to be Boston and Montreal, and there's been a lot of talk about how this has been marketed as a heated rivalry. So it does make you wonder, are we going to have maybe some, potentially, because they've done it on the last few broadcasts, but they've been mentioning the TV guys, like, could be quite a heated rivalry there in Boston. Like, okay, what's going on? Because, for those of you who have read the Game Changers books, and you've watched the Heat Rivalry series, you know that there are two teams in Boston and Montreal. In fact, you're going to get them. I'm going to get them. They arrived this week. Because when we come back, I've still not managed to get around to start the TV show yet. But I have got all the books. I pre-ordered the 7th book So when that gets released, I will obviously have that. Okay, so when we come back from our trip, because obviously we're recording this with about 6 days to go before we fly out to Minneapolis. When we come back from our trip, that is probably where I'm going to have the best opportunity to get round to doing heated rivalry. Yeah. So that's probably going to be my opportunity to do that. Yep. Let me tell you, my wardrobe is a mess. I'm gonna get some. Right, global. Sure. Yep. I have got heated rivalry jerseys. So let me show you all. You will. I'll do a better days we do. What's this? Yeah. So here is the New York Admirals jersey. That is Scott Hunter's. His relationship's the one I'm more invested in. I know a lot of people talk about Shane Elia, but I'm more interested in Scott and Kip. So that's the one you're probably going to see me wearing a lot. We do the game changer stuff. Yeah. Stuff. So that's your Admirals. Then we've got. Don't confuse them. Right. Then we've got the. Yeah, because I don't want to confuse people now. Right. And we've got the Montreal Metros. That's Shane's team. There you go. Those who are listening, you're not going to be able to see this, but just pretend you can just picture them with your mind's eye. And then finally, we have for those of you who checked out SNL. And finally, we've got the Boston Raiders, which of course is Elia's team. So if you saw SNL with Meghan and Hillary, okay, I've got the hero jerseys. Yeah, so we are going to do some game changers content on this show. I'm hoping to get the part of that recorded next week, which will explain to you what we're going to do for that. Obviously, guys remember, the author of the books did appear at the Tegmator game in Halifax back in December. Yeah. And that was before we even knew that we were going to get the show in the UK. Yeah, because by that point it came out in the US and Canada, but not in the UK. No, we got it in the beginning of January, which was not wise, given how it was only a month ago before I went on to Winter Olympics. Yeah. So I will get round to do the TV series and the books. It's just I don't think I'm going to have... Well, actually, I am packing the first book, which is Game Changer. I am packing that book to take with me on the holiday and see if I can start it. If not, I'll have to be able to come back. Yeah, so could we maybe see, I don't know, collar stories? Maybe potentially? Should you say, did you just pronounce his surname? Is it just story? Sorry, Ela. Sorry! So I try to think that maybe we might see Collar Story maybe pop up and do, say, the opening pop drop, for example, maybe? Possibly, I don't know. It's almost like they try to stoke the flame. It's like, what is going on here? Is this going to be some... Yeah, so... that'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, that'll be very interesting indeed. Would it be brilliant if we did have some heated rivalry stars there? That would be absolutely brilliant. I'm not sure it's going to happen though. No. Maybe don't call your towel. Don't start. Don't start. Do not start. We do not need to see that, George. Control yourself. Control yourself. Legs crossed. Legs crossed. Right. Oh my God. I was going to see if we've got any more quotes you can read. No. Okay. Because you might thought it would quite brilliant. I mean, we know that. Oh, come on. It's gotta be right. You've gotta have the rivalry stuff there. Because let's face it, the author of the books, okay, right, was at the Take the Tour game in Halifax. Okay. I think he actually did both games. Did you do both? So I remember Rob Pisa interviewing. I remember Rob Pisa. Sorry, I nearly got a ton of that. I remember Rob Pisa interviewing Rachel Reed during the first intermission of that game in December. But she was there for Boston also, right? And we do know that Rachel Reed, who is the author of the books, is a Montreal Victoire fan. Yeah. So, wouldn't it make sense if she was there for this game against Boston? Yeah. It would just make perfect sense. Well, we have noticed the last couple of times when someone's mentioned it, they've been trying to go, oh, it's a bit of a heated rivalry there. So I'm like, come on. What are you doing? Are you trying? Please don't. Sorry, gotta do it. Just cover your ears if you already feel a bit sick. Are you trying to make us all have erections? Are you trying to make us all come at the same time? You try to make us go... Yeah. Just hit me in the face with it, Scott. Calm down, I was Mr. Whippy Kip. Dirty. You knew he was going to go there. You knew he couldn't control himself. You just knew. These two will not be joined with the Game Changers content. It's going to be something I'm going to be doing on my own. It's a little side project that I came up with while Game Changers was being broadcast on Sky. And I had the idea, and I thought it was a good thing to do. So yeah, so it's gonna be like a little side project. And when we drop the pilot, you'll understand why I'm doing it on this podcast and not doing it as a separate show. Because really, it should be a separate show, but I kind of want to do it on the podcast for reasons that I'm going to explain in the pilot. I'm aiming to record the pilot on Monday. But I'm not going to drop it next week because it's a trip next week. Yeah. So, plus, there's not really a point you dropping the pilot until you actually start doing the content. Yeah, because the pilot just basically explain, this is what I'm going to be doing, and here's the and all that. Yeah. And also, we just had a little sneak peek of costumes. You just did. Yeah. Most of the time you will see me in the Scott Hunter jersey, because I think Scott and Kip, that's the relationship I'm more interested in investing in than the Shane Either one. But I will obviously wear the other two when applicable. Yeah. But most of the time it will be me in the Scott Hunter one. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll record it next week, and then yeah, probably when we've got a bit of the content recorded to then go along with it, we can then, because ideally I would then want your first piece of the content to then drop within a week after the pilot. Yeah. So there's no point with me releasing the pilot while I record it next week, because you're not going to get any content of it till potentially maybe, I don't know when. I don't know. Probably maybe after World Cup playoffs, if not before then, hopefully. I don't know. I'm not putting a down on it. I'm not putting a concrete down on it, because things will then change. Things will then change. Yeah. You know. But I can't see me watching that until probably April, because when we get back, I've got to deal with jet lag. Yeah, so probably April the earliest. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, what do we make? Some final thoughts then, just to kind of close this off, because I think we've got... Didn't you already just do that, George? No! No! Right, I'll bring this back to sense. This is brilliant that the game is sold out. I mean, Boston, we already know, has been a really good market on that front. But the fact that they've now managed to sell out one of the biggest arenas in the world, and one of the most iconic arenas in the world, particularly in the Atlantic Division of the NHL, it's just absolutely brilliant. I really hope the Bruins do a really good job with this. Yeah. And really lend a paw where they you want to see Blaze the Fleet jersey. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. Not sure about replugging it. No, but I wouldn't mind that. Go on, Blaze, get involved. Because you technically can, whereas of course New York Rangers don't have one, so come on. Go on, Blaze. Get in the spirit of it. It's just one game. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Yeah. And you just know that with these two teams, Fleet, Victoire, you're gonna be in for a firecracker. Guaranteed OT. Guaranteed OT. Especially if you're gonna have the two netminders who went head to head in the gold medal game in Milano. It's just guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Any more thoughts from you, Peter, or are you disgusted with my sexual innuendos? I'm disgusted with your sexual innuendos. Tough shit. Tough shit. Any final thoughts? I'm so pleased for Boston to be able to have done this. Just to start this game, incredible. It's a huge statement, not just for the Fleet, but also for our league as a whole. Yeah. So it's April the 11th. Montreal Victoire, Boston Fleet at TD Garden in for a sold out crowd.